As the British Army's exodus from Germany begins to gather pace, it's the end of the line for a unit that was crucial during the Cold War. 16 Tank Transporter Squadron has played a key part in most of Britain's modern military operations. From Bad Fallingbostel in northern Germany, Rob Olver reports.
On parade together for one last time at their Fallingbostel base in Germany, logistic soldiers responsible for a specialist lift capability that's moved heavy armour around here for 62 years. "16 Tank Transporter Squadron is closing as a shrinking British Army with fewer tanks needs fewer specialist outfits to carry them. Soon there'll only be one transporter unit left, reducing a close-knit part of the Royal Logistic Corps.
The guys spend a lot of time here. They can spend up to 9, maybe 10 years in one place, and that's unusual, you know, with the other RLC units. So they gain that family.
16 Tank Transporter Squadron can trace its roots to 1878, when it was raised as a horse-drawn force, taking wagon loads of supplies into battle. A century later, in the Cold War, it was ferrying around Britain's then impressive array of firepower in West Germany, prepared for a Russian attack. But this was no stay-at-home unit. 16 Tank Transporter Squadron was on duty during the Northern Ireland troubles, but it was after the collapse of the Soviet Union that it became really busy, keeping the peace in the Balkans in the 1990s, going to war in Iraq twice, and sent 6 times to Afghanistan. It was there in 2008 in a difficult operation through insurgent territory that the squadron took huge turbines to the Kajaki Dam to try to supply hydroelectric power to the south of the country. Even in its disbandment year, 16 Squadron has been to Afghanistan, this time transporting American helicopters, and the soldiers returned to Germany only weeks ago. The man awarding their operational medals once served in the squadron himself, and says this is its 3rd disbandment, but he believes not the last.
I'm not a betting man, but in my 45 years with the Army, I've seen things go round and round and round, and so I would probably put some money on the fact that 16 Squadron, in some shape or form, will appear again.
Usually a parade ends when the soldiers march off, but not this one.
JCB engine can cruise at 50 miles an hour.
There's one final twist, a drive past of all the vehicles the squadron has used over the years, including some commanded by Polish personnel. After the Second World War, the British offered Polish soldiers freed from German prisoner of war camps special posts as tank transporter drivers. Right up to 1987, 16 Squadron included a Polish contingent and was described as a mixed service organisation.
Especially on exercise, autumn exercises, we were working 24 hours. In that time we had no limit for driving, so we drove nearly 24 hours per day, in between staggering areas, eating, a bit of sleep, and then again back on the exercise area, picking up tanks, dropping them off somewhere else, and so on.
The last Tank Transporter Squadron is leaving Germany. The last mixed service organisation is now departing from the British Army Orbat. But equally, optimism going forward. The troops are content and their families know their plan for their futures. And I think that what they've done today is really send the squadron off into history in exactly the right manner.
Rob Olver, Forces News, Bad Fallingbostel in Germany.